Acidonia 150 here, and today I'm going to talk about 15 things I think Microsoft completely screwed up on the Xbox 360. Now I know all these are big major things that have affected everyone, but they're still incredibly stupid when you think about it. So anyways, get on with it. Number 1. Wonky original Xbox emulation. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking when they were emulating the original Xbox on the 360, but they clearly was rushed out the door. And you can tell this because some games don't work at all, or they don't work properly. Prime example, Panzer Dragoon Auto. If you play the European version of the game and you don't use a save file to skip level 3, it always locks up. Now bizarre enough, it does not affect the other region versions of the game, just the European one. There's also a few games where literally the European version does not work at all, yet the US and Japanese version does. So yeah, I'm not sure what they did there, but that happened. Number 2, Red Ring of Death. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this is about, but yeah, the machine was clearly rushed out the door, which probably explains why the original Xbox emulation wasn't good either. And that's the reason why this happened. It's been at least fixed now, but it caused them a lot of problems at least. Number 3, allowing Electronic Arts to use their own online servers. Now I know Sony did this as well, but here's the thing, Electronic Arts are the only company that ever shut the servers down for the games. Anything else on the 360 pretty much, there is absolutely no way that the servers get shut down for. Still play them from this day now. But Electronic Arts stuff, nope. Also, another interesting thing, the game's spare parts and an X-Belay title by EA is the only X-Belay game I know of that has the online shutdown on it. You can play it without the offline, no, at least. Oh, and that and the idiots who programmed that game thought it was a fantastic idea to have a puzzle in the game that you had to have 2 players to beat, even though you could play the rest of the game single player. Great work, guys! Number 4, changing the dashboards. Now I know most people hate the new dashboard designs and they get used to them, but that's not the biggest problem I'm getting at here. The dashboards kept changing. Some stuff got harder to find because of it, which annoyed a lot of people, and that was forcing people to do it. There's no reason why they had to keep changing them all the time. It led to a lot of problems as well later on some of the later dashboards in the later life, because the indie game channel, sometimes the link to it would not show up in the later dashboards, so people couldn't access any of the indie games, and they had other problems with the indie games. And well, they're all fixed now, but at the same time they only happened once they changed the dashboard. Right, so what's the next one? Number 6, screwing up old themes. What I mean by this, I mean the old background themes. Because of the new dashboard designs, the old background themes no longer worked properly on them. Now, some people say this is not important, but here's the thing, people paid actual money for these things. I think they have the right for them to actually work properly on their system. And Microsoft didn't care, and they just made them not work properly at all because they changed how the dashboard looked, because they're stupid. And it's pretty annoying we spent money. Number 6, favoritising Americans all the time. Now, it's pretty obvious what I mean by this. There's so much more content available on the American non-gaming wise. Even when it comes to free and stuff like backgrounds, America gets that the rest of the world never gets. There's even a few games, bizarre enough, like Aegis Wing, which doesn't make sense actually to be US exclusive for one simple reason. It was developed in the spare time by someone at Microsoft. It's not advertising a product or anything, yet you need an American account to download it. I don't get the logic in that. It's pretty stupid. Oh yeah, I think there also was a free Kinect game promoting... Yeah, there's a few free Kinect games as well that wasn't available in Europe and outside America. One like called, I think, Discovered or something, now like some weird like movie thing. It was sponsored by Intel. And the one for chewing gum. Which didn't make any sense why it wasn't available outside of America, because the product is, so... Actually, Intel is as well, so I don't know that lot. Yeah, okay, whatever. Right, so... what are we on to? Number 7! The all Xbox Originals idea. This idea probably made sense to them on paper, where they was going to sell the original Xbox games as download titles for the 360. The ones that actually worked on the 360. But because of the region differences and not all games worked in every region, every game released on Xbox Originals was available worldwide. And then suddenly Microsoft just basically just gave up and got bored and just stopped even bothering making them. Because, you know, this is Microsoft talking about. You notice this happens a lot with Microsoft in this list. They just kind of give up with things. Yeah, it's pretty annoying. What am I doing again? Number 8. The old time when they wanted to start removing Xbox Live Arcade games due to having poor Metacritic scores. Yes, they wanted to entirely remove games from the machine because a silly website gave them poor reviews. Not like really just Metacritic. There's quite a lot of good games on Metacritic that get poor reviews, not even bad games. I mean, you're an idiot and if you believe Metacritic and everything, you're stupid and you just don't deserve it anyway. You don't deserve to play any good games anyway, if you ask me, but... Anyway, so, number 9! 1 versus 100! Now this one I'll never understand at all. I mean, you've got something unique to your system, a live interactive quiz you can win prizes on. Then you just cancel it. And according to Microsoft's logical reason for cancelling it is, it was a test that was running nearly a year. Had achievement points, and people was winning actual prizes on it, though I heard some people actually got glitched ones that didn't work, which isn't very good. And people definitely wanted to play this game, and Microsoft flat out cancelled it. Using the excuse, well, no one wanted to put adverts in his game, so we cancelled it. This is the same Microsoft that, go back a few months after cancelling it, wasted millions, well, I don't know how much really, but a lot of money on a stupid private Connect party with Circus Soleil that wouldn't allow any people who actually went to the thing, like under a few hundred, take photographs of it, film it, and all that. Yeah, they couldn't afford to do something simple like keep 1 versus 100 up that people enjoyed. But no, stupid private pie, that's more important. Idiots. Right, and this one really kind of bugs me. Right, number 10, Game Room. Now this was a disaster, this one. So, gets released, and it was clearly meant to be a big emulation station thing, letting you download games on it and play lots and lots of different old arcade games and classic games. The original plan was going to do it on PC and all that, and it would be over 1,000 games including in about 3 or 4 years. It didn't even last a year. But what happened with it? Well, originally it got delayed. They actually didn't get the content wasn't originally completed, but it was meant to release stuff every week for the thing, and it's a download pack every 3 weeks that include all the new games. One of them got pushed back about a fortnight because it wasn't finished, because the original pack was clearly rushed out the door for one of the Summer of Live Arcade event. I swear summer. It was one of the, I think it was the Block Party event or whatever it was called in your event. So basically it got pushed back. And then Microsoft never advertised the thing at all after this date. They just flat out ignored it. It like never existed. They only started advertising it on like my Major Nelson or, you know, the person who gets all the main information. Literally about 3 weeks before it actually died. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I mean, this thing was clearly Microsoft's name on it. A developer called Chrome was making it, and Chrome went out of business. And frankly, that made Game Room just instantly die, because Microsoft, instead of like getting someone to help work on it, no, I didn't do that. There were also a lot of problems with the games included on it. Emulation was really bad on some was missing music altogether meant to be included. mean, some games was literally borderline unplayable, like Kaboom on it, which literally expecting you to play it with a D-pad, but it was so sensitive you literally could not last 2 seconds in the game without dying. And a game like Kaboom, you need precise controls. You cannot play that game without precise controls. It's a stupidly hard game. And trying to play it with a controller, which basically anything that played like Breakout game was literally unplayable with an analog stick, and pretty much nearly just as bad with a D-pad. Then there's the old fact that how they marketed it was weird. They're asking the same price for an actual arcade version as an Atari 2600 version of the same game. Not including them together, like, oh, so we'll go buy Centipede to get the arcade version and the Atari version. Oh no, you have to buy them separate. Which was pretty stupid. And there's another reason why it kind of failed, because most people are looking going, why am I going to pay $3 or £2 for an Atari game when in the same thing we could get a game like Twinbee or something, which is a much better game for the same price. And it's a perfectly good example of why this thing didn't work very well. Oh yeah, and the very final game released for it was going to be Sunset Riders, which never came out. Right, so I was pretty annoyed at Game Room actually. It could have been a really good idea, but they completely destroyed it. And just because the company went bust, no excuse to leave it how it was. And literally, by the time the company did go bust and to stop supporting Game Room, it was glitchy. It glitched constantly. You could not actually decorate the arcade room in a game. It just frees the machine up, which is terrible. I mean, this is an official thing, Max, with your name on it. You should get this stuff fixed. This isn't making you look good. Right, number 11, the whole Joyride mess. Joyride started off as was going to a free to. It started off as it was going to be a free to play game, a free to play racing game. Now Microsoft, being idiots they are, decided, you know, it's controller based game. We're gonna completely ignore the free to play one and sell as a full retail price that only works with Kinect, and remove all control support from it whatsoever. It didn't do very well. Now, actually, a while after this version came out, the actual completed version of the free-to-play version actually got released as an own separate title, as an XBLA title, called Joyride Turbo. Now, here's the thing: Joyride Turbo was actually, with a controller, was actually pretty good. But here's the thing: nobody bothered playing it. The online was completely dead in a complete ghost town. And the reason why it was a complete ghost town was most people didn't want to go near it because of the Kinect version was complete crap. If they'd have just made it a free-to-play in the first place, this game would have been pretty successful. But no, they had to completely screw it up and just throw all that crap in. Alright, number 12. All the crappy lies that E3 they made about Kinect. Yeah, I'm sure you know what I mean by it's all this junk like, oh look, we've got this new game coming out called Milo, where you talk to some creepy looking kid. Was that ever a game? Probably not. Look, the Kinect can scan your skateboard and you can have your in-game picture inside of the game. I don't think any Kinect game ever used that feature, despite the fact they showed it off at a big press conference. The closest games have used that was something in Kinect Funland, where you could scan 3D models. But here's the thing, that was made a year after that E3 press conference. And you still couldn't scan random items into games to have them as your own thing. This was only one game that did it, and it was a weird game. Yeah, they basically lied a lot about Kinect, and a lot of people do not like Microsoft for Kinect. If you ask me, Kinect is not a bad idea itself, but the biggest problem Kinect has is it was poorly thought out. It just doesn't work properly and it needs way too much space. I am throwing it in the Xbox Ones, asking people if it was a stupid idea as well. Right, so number 12. No, 13. The whole Xbox Live Deal app. And most people don't even remember this, but for a while, Microsoft had this weird like download deal app. Every week it would like have some special deals on it. Now we were a bit weird. How it programmed was stupid. I mean, it wasn't the same deal app as the deal of the week one, which you don't need to download. You can only buy these deals through this app. Otherwise, it'd pop up at the normal price. It also had an utterly stupid, well, not really stupid, but they had some really odd things to the thing, which I'll never understand. Oh, like an old scratch card thing. You'd scratch carded it off, and every day you had a chance to win a game. Literally, I think something ridiculous like under like about 500 people a day won, so your chance of winning on this thing was pretty slim. Anyway, I won one day. What did I win? Oh, Comic Jumper, a game I already own, so I won absolutely nothing. Do I get anything? Do I get a refund or anything for that? Nope, nothing. I don't get a thank you or anything. Weirdly enough, I actually won like the week later and actually won something. It was actually a Guardian Heroes Venus Flytrap Avatar Award. Yeah, sometimes a prize, not a game, but an Avatar Award, which is a bit of a strange prize really when you think about it, but... So, yes, you could win on the thing, but the thing that makes it weird is, Microsoft literally just cancelled this entire app thing, with no warning whatsoever. Never told anyone who was cancelling it, they just cancelled it. They didn't say a thing. This one was a real doozy and stupid one. Number 14! The whole, oh look, the Xbox avatars can't have gun props nonsense. If you didn't know, I used to have a gun prop of the Gears of War chainsaw gun. Is it called a Lancer? I don't know. Well anyway, Microsoft then decided one day we had to remove this from the store. Because for some reason your cartoon avatars cannot have realistic looking guns. So, eventually they started to re-release guns and rename them toy guns. And make them look like, well, toy guns that shot foam darts at. I mean, what is the point of this, really? Think about it. It is just an animation on a character model. You cannot even use the gun actually in a game against any person. It's just a pose. This is the most stupidest thing to remove. Also, these things cost money as well. So why would you remove them and edit them? It's just stupid and completely pointless. Especially in a system which constantly advertises Call of Duty as its biggest game where you run around shooting people with guns. It's kind of a bit silly that a cartoon avatar can't use one. And here's the one I think really bugged me. Now this effect, this is the most recent one. Number 15, the whole price conversion thing when they turn into real money. Now here's the thing, now if you live in America this was never a problem because, oh look, the price conversion did nothing. You buy an 800 card would be a $10. Now it'd be converted to $10 in real money. Now if you live in the rest of the world this was not a problem. This was a problem because somehow $10 now in UK, $10, not $10, 800 Microsoft points used to convert to about £6.40. Now, if now at 800, stop doing this. Now at 800 point game is essentially £7.99, which is more than it was originally, and everything's gone up like this. A 1,200 game was £10, now it's 12. There's no reason for this. I mean, it just went up that's £2 extra on the price of something for no reason whatsoever. You could say, don't be cheap. Why should I pay £2 extra for something? Americans get it for the exact same price as they did before. Why are we paying extra? There's no reason for this. It's not a tax crap or anything like that, because they'd have fixed it years ago if that was the case. This affects all of Europe pretty much, so it's not just America. So only America gets away with getting it the same price. Now the pricing don't make sense because you look at some of the older stuff, and the older stuff converted still is £6.49. So it's the price it would have been when they had the original Microsoft point currency. But all the stuff after a past date is now more expensive, even though it's clearly meant to be the same price. I don't know, this really annoys me because I don't see why we should pay more for something than America. After all, these are downloads. You can't resell them on, so what's the point in and putting the price of them. Doesn't make sense at all. Right, so that was the 15 things I think Microsoft screwed up on the 360. Now, I know some of them might sound incredibly minor to most people, but at the same time, these things shouldn't happen. I mean, it pretty much sums it to me, you cannot trust Microsoft with keeping things at all. They love to change things constantly, and they'll literally just throw an idea away just instantly, without any warning whatsoever. And they just can't stick with anything. And a lot of them points just had mentioned that. It's like, oh, we're going to do a deal, then 2 weeks later it gets cancelled. With no warning. I mean, can you really trust them fully as a company if they can't even do something as simple as a sale properly? It's not that difficult to do, really, is it? Well, anyway, thank you for watching and I guess listening.